Flash floods have wreaked havoc in Himachal Pradesh. We have seen Himachal Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu doing aerial surveys and his Panjab counterpart Bhagwant Mann meeting the people in flooded areas. But we don't know how these flash floods took place and what are the reasons behind the devastation caused by these floods. We have with us O.N. Bhargava, who is the professor of Department of Geology, Panjab University, Chandigarh, who will explain in detail why these flash floods caused this much of devastation and what are the root causes. Professor Bhargava, can you please elaborate why these flash floods took place and what are the reasons behind?
No, see, this is a normal natural phenomenon of heavy rains which we can't control. It happens. Now, if the entire, it depends in the valley. If it can accommodate that water, then there is no flooding. But then it overflows, there is a flooding. See, earlier also we used to have rains, and as heavy rains as I remember the days when it used to be rain for days together, but we never had this sort of flooding because, first of all, it was a very, what you call, a normal and gradual precipitation. But now what has happened, because all these years, the lot of erosion has taken place. One is the natural erosion, which goes on happening because of weathering. Second one is man-made erosion, which is very dangerous. See, and then it has happened because of two reasons. One is when you are widening the road, 4-lane, then you cut the slope. The slope becomes unstable because it takes a lot of time for a slope to get stabilized. Once you disturb the stability, it flows out. And then when you are cutting the road, all that muck which comes out is all dumped in the river bed, whichever. With the result, the level of the river bed rises. And then, even with the less amount of rain, it floods. To give you a simile of the old thing, that story of crow, he found that the level of water was less, so he dropped a few stones, the water rises. Same thing, if you have put so much of material, so much of muck, you see the amount of widening they have done, and for the road cutting and also civil constructions. So, and then another thing which happens, that if there is not much of civil construction, much of water which falls seeps down. But once it's all concrete, it doesn't go down, it flows. So all this adds to the flooding.
Professor, can we blame the authorities as they did not check the illegal construction and encroachments and dumping of the muck?
No, I have always said, I had an interview with the Down to Earth also, that, see, they should consult the geologist concerned. See, they will be able to tell you where to cut, how much to cut. Because you can't use a thumb rule that what you are doing in the plains you can do here. No, it's a very new, fragile mountain where nothing has stabilized. It's still rising, and then when it rises, so in fact, the maximum rate of erosion is in our country as compared to all over the countries. So we have to check it and then see. So you see, I remember when the army was constructing the road in Ladakh and all, one geologist from Geological Survey was attached with them. And those roads, they never had any landslide or the minor. It never happened this way it happens. So in those days when what we earlier used to call Hindustan-Tibet Road or National Highway 22, see, it was all very well constructed, planned. No, as far as I know, nobody has been constructed. Some builder, someone has been given a contract. He just comes, makes a road, and then when we cut a slope, we also try to see in which the direction are the weak planes. We avoid them, or then we provide them with some suitable remedial measures. So, but if you just go on cutting the slope, regardless of the weak zones or what we call the dip of the beds or the joints, then certainly you are inviting trouble.
You have studied the geology of the area, be it Himachal or where the floods have become a commonplace. Can you throw some light on the weakness or some issues that particularly bring the floods or can bring floods in future as well?
Same thing will continue, it will bring floods. But then when you are talking of some other, there are other problems. What, see, for example, that which is that place in Uttarakhand, which has happened. Uttarkashi, no, not Uttarkashi. There is a place like going to this Joshi yes. See, what has happened, most of the, you see rocks, but you also see a lot of soil. What has happened, that during weathering the soil has come down. Now most of the people, they don't remove the soil cover and go to the solid foundation to construct house, because it becomes very costly, expensive. So you construct it after going slightly deep and make a foundation. Then all that domestic water discharge, there is no proper drainage, so it gets absorbed within the soil, and in the course of time it swells and then it starts giving way. So see, it's very difficult because it's a thrust of population. You have to construct the house, you fell the trees, remove the forest. So all that gives rise to higher rate of erosion, and higher rate of erosion is bound to lead with much lesser rain. Because take for example, this is the valley. Now for the water level to come here, you will have flood. But now the river bed is, I raise the river bed, then much lesser precipitation will lead to flood. And this will continue if you don't stop or monitor the erosion.
Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Professor Owen Bhargava was telling us the reasons why the floods took place. In fact, be it the Kalka-Shimla National Highway or be it the Chandigarh-Manali National Highway, road widening has been taking place from 3 to 4 years, and all the muck was dumped into the rivers. And when the muck was dumped into the rivers, the water level started rising, and during the flash floods, there was more water. The state governments, be it the Panjab government or be it the Himachal Pradesh, have failed to check the illicit mining, ruthless felling of the trees that has led to this disaster. Professor still warns that if these things continued, the floods will continue to damage. With camera person Aman Gupta, this is Manjeet Saigal in Panchkula for India Today.